Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Get Satisfaction Fireside Chat with Get Satisfaction's Wendy Lee and Rahul Sachdev. It's a great honor. I'm Hannah Johnson. I'm our marketing manager at Get Satisfaction, and I'm excited to introduce these two great community panelists this morning. So, as many of you know, Wendy Lee was, up until about 3 weeks ago, the CEO of Get Satisfaction. Wendy is still with us as our executive chairman. She sits right next to me at my desk, actually, in our pod. And our new CEO, Rahul Sachdev, actually sits at that same pod across from me and Wendy. So they've been in the community space as well as sort of different related fields for quite a while now, and this should be a great conversation. So just a couple words about Get Satisfaction before we get started. Get Satisfaction is a community platform for forward-thinking companies that are excited to embrace the way that today's customers want to engage in the digital world. So these communities are hosting conversations that are helping companies build better relationships with their customers, and these relationships are unlocking new value for both the companies as well as the customers. So with that, I will let you guys take it away.
Okay, we're excited. Thanks, Hannah. So good morning, everyone. This is Wendy, and I am thrilled to have this fireside chat this morning with Rahul. Welcome to Get Satisfaction, Rahul. You've been on board as our CEO for all of 3 weeks, and I know it's been like drinking from a fire hose. How does it feel? And why don't you share with the audience your initial observations?
Well, thank you. Thank you, Wendy. I am thrilled to be leading Get Satisfaction. Actually, first I want to thank our customers for the opportunity to serve them. I also want to thank our team and our friends, Get Satisfaction's friends, for welcoming me. And I want to thank you for building a great company and continuing to be my partner as we take Get Satisfaction to the next stage of its evolution. Now, you know that I've been a close follower of Get Satisfaction over the years, and I've deeply admired the approach that the company has pursued since we started. And my belief, to answer your question, in Get Satisfaction and our mission has only got stronger since I've joined. I think we have an amazing opportunity given what's going on in the market space and how customers want to engage with their brands. And I think it's up to us to seize that opportunity and fulfill that promise.
I remember so well the first time we met in the office here at the Satisfactory, and that look in your eye that this is not only an exciting opportunity in terms of bringing consumers together with brands, but also a big idea. So why don't you talk to us today about what really got you excited about the space we're in, the online community platform space, and Get Satisfaction in particular.
Yeah, I remember that meeting very clearly, Wendy. I remember you and I riffing on an idea. We were drawing, I think the term that you used was Hotel Get Satisfaction on the whiteboard. So I remember that very clearly, and the notion and the vision of Get Satisfaction wanting to connect millions of customers and consumers with companies online so we can unlock value on both sides. And quite simply, that's what got me excited. I can relate to that, both as a customer, but also somebody who's been a practitioner in the social and CRM space for many years. So when we talked about that big idea and what you'd been doing, I just felt I had to be part of it. And as you know, I was helping the company for a short period before I joined. So I really got to see, the company from the inside, which only strengthened or bolstered my opinion about it.
So, the thing that strikes both of us, having been in the whole world of CRM for a long, long time, is that, CRM really never made good on the promise of a relationship, right? And it seems like now we have an opportunity to do that. Well, so what's your point of view of that? I mean, we come from a long history of CRM, so we love CRM. We love the notion of what it does for companies in terms of understanding certain kinds of data, transactional data from their customers, and it gives us a way to know who they are in some ways and what they're doing in some ways. But this is a very different time. And so why don't you riff a little bit on your view of that?
Yeah, let's talk about that, Wendy. Let's talk about CRM. As you said, it's an area that you and I have been involved in for a long time. We were both at Siebel Systems when we built what at that time was the world's largest customer relationship software company. But I agree with you. I think the promise of CRM was to provide a technology to make relationships, customer relationship management, those relationships between customers and companies better. But the reality is that it helped to make sales, service, and marketing functions better or operationally efficient. But it didn't do much for the relationship piece. Now, look, I'm not here to underestimate or devalue what CRM does. I'm a big believer in it. I think the operational benefits of CRM are great. But look, what about listening to the customers, what they want and what they're responding to? And I think CRM has some limitations around that. Let's be specific. CRM is largely about one-to-one conversations between the company and, if you like, a single customer. It also makes it hard to capture and share and analyze those conversations about questions, about problems, about ideas, because much of it is still reliant on a person, a human being, sales or service agent's ability to enter that information into a system. So the net effect is that either it doesn't happen at all or it happens not so well. But there's a third reason, and I think that's about human motivations. Let's take customer service as an example. Let's think about how customer service reps are measured. The reality is that delivering customer service on a consistent basis is hard. When's the last time you called up a call center and said, I had a fantastic experience. I want to do that again. I want to call my call center. And part of it is because the traditional customer service reps, the CSRs, if you like, are measured more often on metrics like average call handling time. So they're motivated to get the customer off the phone quickly as possible. So I think that's the deficiency of how traditional service is provided and customer experience works. But the world has also changed a great deal since you and I started in CRM. Internet is ubiquitous, right? Mobility is an expectation from customers, not a nice to have. And today's generation feels very comfortable using social technologies. There's one more thing that's changed, and I think that's a more fundamental shift. That's really about customer expectations. You can actually take that further, and it's about expectations of the average person. Look around what's happening in the world. Get Satisfaction provides an online community platform that brings customers or consumers and companies together to help to strengthen that relationship. So I think it fulfills that promise, unfulfilled promise of customer relationship management.
I totally agree. And that I shared that passion the moment I met the founders of Get Satisfaction. I thought this particular capability, the capability of Get Satisfaction, was unique in its ability to be authentic and natural and gathering people to help each other. And as a result of that, companies would be able to be there too, but be there in a different way, not in the old way that you and I were raised with. Mm-hmm. So I want to go back to your initial blog post when it was a couple of weeks ago when you were first announced. And specifically you said, if the customer service function were invented in the internet age, would we really start with a help desk? Can you talk more about what you meant by that and how you believe that Get Satisfaction really helps with that?
Yeah, sure. And, the intent of that
You were being a little snarky.
Well, no, it was meant to be provocative and to provoke a conversation. I'm not suggesting that help desks are going to go away. But as I said, the world has changed a great deal in the last decade. In this context, what I was referring to is really how customers want to engage with their brands or companies who provide them the products and services. Look, at the end of the day, companies can blow their own trumpet as much as they want. But customers are going to do their own research before they buy a product or a service. They're going to go to the internet and other sites. They're going to search on the search engines and social media sites. They're going to ask their friends. They'll do the same when they have a question or a problem or an idea or something good or bad to say about your brand. So the bottom line is, if a company truly believes that they can control their customers, I think they are mistaken. What we provide is an online community platform for connecting customers and companies around products and services that those customers use. Even better, we provide an online community platform where customers can connect with other customers. That's a big difference. So when that is done correctly, as we have seen among our customers, that something amazing happens. The customer feels empowered. Customers can get fast answers to their questions or problems around products and services they use, often from customers like them, right? Way better than waiting on the phone for 10 to 15 minutes in a call center queue. Customers can research about products and services to buy by listening to what other customers think about them. We have an example of that at Kitty Care, where customers, before they buy a product, before they put that product in the cart, can look at what other customers are saying about those products in the community. Customers can share opinions, advice, and ideas about products and services with other customers and the company. They feel like they have more influence over the products and services from the customers that they use. We have customers that are doing that. I think about Kudo, a mobile company in Canada, where 99.6%, I think, conversations are generated by users, customers, not the company. I think about TechSmith, that's got 1,200 ideas that they've generated through Get Satisfaction Community. So community is a great way to empower customers and make them feel special. Now, there is also something in it for the companies. It's a new way to serve their customers in a fresh, responsive, cost-effective way. It's a new way to accelerate sales with customer-created content and that peer-to-peer engagement that draws the right prospects to you. It's a new way to tap the collective wisdom of your customers to find out what they think about everything, including your products and services, and what they want from you next. But look, that new way isn't for everybody. It's about companies that are willing to operate, forward-thinking companies that are willing to operate and embrace the way today's customers want to engage in this digital world. And so if you're a company that believes that engaging with your customer can give you a competitive advantage, then yeah, Get Satisfaction is a good choice for you.
Well, and we have thousands of customers that have made that choice. So we've learned a lot from them, and I think they've learned a lot by using our platform. Excuse me. I think, over the last 4.5 years, I've learned a lot about community, online community, but I'm also still asked a lot, Wendy, how is Get Satisfaction different from the other communities that exist in social networks like Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and Pinterest? So, we're building, you in particular were very involved in building engagement products at LinkedIn before you joined us. And that was one of our immediate touch points. Mm-hmm. So how do you see our kind of community platform different from the social networks that exist, the communities that exist in these social networks? And even from social media monitoring tools, because sometimes there's confusion about that. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a great question. And yes, you're right. I was fortunate to have worked at LinkedIn with some amazing people at a great time for the company. And as you mentioned, I worked on building content and community products to drive consumer engagement. And LinkedIn is a great example of how to build engaging products that users find valuable. But to answer your question, I think Get Satisfaction is complementary to social networks like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, and also the social media monitoring tools like Hootsuite, who's a partner of ours, and Spreadfast and Sprinkler. So how is it different? Well, I think let's talk about those. So first, it's about resolution-oriented conversations. It's about answering questions. It's about solving problems. It's about capturing ideas and feedback. Social networks tend to be much more open-ended. It's about bringing a set of customers with a common interest, in this case products and services that they use or are interested in, together in a community. It's not about sharing photos with your friends. Facebook does a great job of that. It's not about building a professional network. LinkedIn does a great job of that. It's not about being world's biggest broadcast tool. Twitter does that. It's not simply about monitoring those conversations like social media tools do that. It's about resolutions and outcomes to those conversations. It's about answering those questions. It's about getting solutions to problems. It's about capturing those ideas and feedback and amplifying them so they can turn into great products for tomorrow. So it's complementary because it can bring conversations from everywhere, including many of those social networks and social media tools, and it can also push conversations into those tools to amplify the message so users can consume them wherever they are. So it's those two things, but there's actually a number of other things. Third, I would say it's about archiving those conversations so you can search them, you can analyze them, you can act upon them. You can do some of that in Get Satisfaction itself, and you can do that through other tools like CRM and help desk and marketing automation tools. So it's complementary there. It's open. Every single public conversation on Get Satisfaction is indexed for search engines. A lot of the users find us, I think great majority of them, through search engines. It's about building and nurturing a group of subject matter experts and brand champions who can become advocates for you to help answer many of those questions, solve those problems, and amplify those messages, those ideas. Because if it's just about the customer and the company, the one-to-one relationship, then we haven't achieved the promise of online community. So it's about getting those customers, the casual customers, engaged with others, be it subject matter experts or brand champions. But I will say that the last difference is that for customer communities to be truly successful, companies have to play an important role in that. So it's about providing tools to the companies so they can be more responsive to those questions. They can analyze those conversations, and they can make great business decisions about them. So there's a lot of ways in which we are different, but in short, we're really complementary to social networks and social media monitoring tools.
I actually had a chance to talk to, 300 or 400 people this week about this very thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? These are professionals in marketing organizations that are focused on customer marketing efforts. And we talked openly about Get Satisfaction allowing them to extend the value of social interactions
mm-hmm.
that were happening in Facebook and Twitter and other places, LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
So in that way, Get Satisfaction is like a big tent
mm-hmm.
where all those social interactions can be curated and then distributed to wherever the company wants them to be. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's our role and the community discussion has become even more important, not less, because of the number of social interactions that are happening between customers and between employees.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an exciting time.
So it is.
So, as we set up the last part of this fireside chat on this Thursday morning, I think it would make sense for us to really be specific about how different we are from other online community platforms.
Yeah. I think we're living in an exciting time, in an exciting space that's evolving fast. As you said, there are many companies out there, even in our domain of online customer community, each with its own philosophy and strategy, and far be it for me to critique them. They're all great companies. But let's talk about Get Satisfaction, what is our philosophy and how we think we're different, and what attracted me to Get Satisfaction. I love the fact that we're consumer focused, that we understand that for communities to be successful, casual consumers and experts and employees all have to participate in addition to community managers. And we have built a platform with that need in mind. I love the fact that we have a lot of experience in building community products. As you mentioned, we have thousands of customers. We've been in the space since 2007. Our roots were in the freemium model, and that's allowed us to build and create 70,000 communities. That's a lot of experience to bring into the product. We have millions of users. That's a lot of knowledge that we can gather from these customers, these users, on how to build the right kind of an online community product. I mentioned earlier that openness is really important. Anybody who thinks that communities by default, customer communities, are closed I don't agree with that strategy, that philosophy. We're open by default. Each and every public conversation in Get Satisfaction is optimized for search engines. I love the fact that we're not just a conversation platform, that we can help derive intelligence or insights from it. So provide you tools so you can do something with those conversations. I love our flexibility. Gone are the days where you have to spend weeks and months and tens of thousands of dollars to implement software. We don't want to do that, right? The roots of the company that allow the platform, the Get Satisfaction community, to be up and running in a matter of hours, where you can make it, customize it, to your brand's needs, through drag and drop and minimal work. I love that fact. So I think it's a different philosophy and a different strategy. I like the fact that we are bringing a lot of the consumer mindset to solving some really critical business problems. So those are all the ways that I've seen how Get Satisfaction is different, and what excited me about the company and wanting to join, be part of it.
And customers share your view of our differences. I mean, last week I was mentioning to you on a trip to Mexico City, where one of our largest customers there, when I was 2 days of meetings, and I was asking them, well, how do you feel about Get Satisfaction? And these were teachers, and then students, and then community managers. And very consistently, over those 2 days of meetings, I heard, we love Get Satisfaction because it's easy to work with. That means it's consumer friendly. We love Get Satisfaction because it's easy to access, Google being the digital front door of most of us. Mm-hmm. And we love Get Satisfaction because it's useful. It provides content that has real utility.
Yeah.
So it was fun for me in person to hear that feedback from so many different constituents inside this private university with multiple campuses.
Well, so let me actually talk about that. I think you bring up an interesting point. There are aspects of businesses where Get Satisfaction, the types of businesses where Get Satisfaction is really relevant. Let's look at the types of customers that we have and the segments in which we have a lot of presence. Think about technology, because the products by definition have some level of complexity, and getting that knowledge, the tribal knowledge, the wisdom of the crowd into a single place on how the products get used and applied, that's powerful, and communities are a great way of doing that. We have a lot of customers that do that. I think about, you mentioned education is another area where bringing that knowledge into a single place, information sharing, community is a great enabler for that. But there's another part of the market where we are really applicable, which is in the B2C world. I think about consumer goods companies like Procter & Gamble. I think about who are our customers. I think about e-commerce companies like Kitty Care and Photomoto. I think about telecom companies, right, like Kudo and Telstra. So companies where you have to serve a lot of consumers, tens of thousands of millions of consumers. Community is a great way to harness the wisdom of the crowds. So if you have complex products and services that get applied in a variety of ways, and you want to harness that, community is a great choice. If you have millions of customers and you want to harness their wisdom and answer questions, community is a great choice. So I love the fact that there are lots of different use cases.
Yeah, it's exciting. So what about the future, Rahul? So here you are, 3 weeks in, and everybody and their brother wants to know, okay, how are we going to grow? Where's the future? Where's your vision? Why don't you wrap up on that before we take a few questions?
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to building on our great foundation and the momentum that you've laid. Under your helm, Get Satisfaction has become a well-known brand. I still get surprised when I go out to parties and social gatherings where I mention the name. People say, oh yeah, I know Get Satisfaction. I've heard of you guys. You've been doing this for a while. It's a great company. And that's really, really, encouraging and exhilarating for me. And the reputation that we've created for innovation and thought leadership. I love the fact that, last year we built our new product, new platform, that's getting a lot of traction with a lot of customers like Chamberlain, Chevron, Extreme Networks, RingCentral, Sugar CRM. And we've launched hundreds of communities. So to answer your question of my vision of Get Satisfaction, well, it's for us to be the world's largest and most engaging customer conversation platform. That's what I want us to be. So under my leadership, we're going to remain focused on creating that, for creating the most engaging platform to connect customers or consumers with companies online. We will endeavor to listen to our customers and their ideas, their input. We're going to innovate faster, provide more value to the end user, the consumer, as well as the companies. We're going to remain focused on building a company that provides easy-to-use solutions, easy to deploy. I want to make sure that we're a great place to work. We want to attract the best talent out there. And I want to remain committed to a culture that you've created, Wendy, of a company that's open, that's transparent, that's trustworthy, easy to work with, because those are the values that we, aspire to and have built into our product. So watch this space for more ideas and more innovation coming out of us, and I'm really excited. Thank you for the opportunity.
I'm excited too. It's awesome to have you, and I'm thrilled to be your partner in the next phase of the growth of Get Satisfaction. So Hannah, do we have some questions?
Yes.
We want to take a few?
Yeah, let's take a couple. So Jordan is wondering, do we still host the community sites, or do we allow customers to host their own community sites?
So we host the community. We're a SaaS platform that's multi-tenant. So our approach is that we want to take that pain away from you, and it's you just go to a browser and point and click, and you don't have to worry about servers, you don't have to worry about hosting it and all of that. So we're a multi-tenant SaaS platform, and we host it for you.
Great. So you guys mentioned all the various tools that go into providing support today. There's help desk, there's LinkedIn, there's all sorts of things. So how does community fit into this framework?
Sure. So let's take an example of help desk. imagine a community where there are customers asking questions and other experts, subject matter experts and champions responding to them. And let's say that in the community you have a fantastic new idea of how to use that product or how to solve that problem, because the wisdom that is out there, the knowledge is out there among the crowd. One thing we could do is to integrate to a help desk system and turn that great answer, an employee or a community manager can turn that great answer into a knowledge base article that could be used by the rest of the company. That could be used when the customer chooses to call you through the call center or chooses to go to your website to search for an answer. So you can, that's one example. Let's imagine that the problem is so complicated that nobody has the answer to that out there, or has not been answered in a certain time frame. That can happen. Well, the community manager always has an option to take that question or a problem and convert it to a ticket in a help desk system, and push the resolution of that out to the community. So again, I think it's important to emphasize that we're complementary to many of these systems, and some of the, shall we call it, actionability does reside in those systems. But think about community as a platform for enabling customer conversations and, in as much as possible, resolving them. That's the resolution piece within the community. But where that doesn't happen, can't happen, or where insights need to be applied to other systems, we integrate. We support that.
Great. So this question is for Rahul. You spent some time at LinkedIn building community there. What lessons will you take from your time at LinkedIn, and what do you hope to do differently here?
That's a great question. I think the biggest lesson is that communities, need to be built over time and through constant, nurturing. I'll think about it as sort of like a garden, that you go and you have to make sure you prune it, you have to tend to it, you have to move things around. So communities are a work in progress. And LinkedIn has shown really a great way to bring the power of users and the power of content into a community of shared interest or shared practice, and how to get those conversations going, be it in an open network or a LinkedIn group. So I think a lot of those lessons of how you drive users to a community, how you provide them, how you motivate them to take action, be it casual user or be it an expert or an employee, still apply. How you use content as a way to drive conversations, initiate conversations, still applies. How you drive the resolution of those, I learned that from CRM world, right, where those things happen. So I feel like I'm fortunate to be in a place where I can apply the lessons that I learned at LinkedIn and the lessons that I learned at Siebel in the CRM world, and really bring them together to solve a new set of problems. So I hope that answers the question.
Great. And this is the last question. So customers are clearly a guiding force for the company. So how is customer feedback influencing product direction, and how will it influence it in the future?
Well, first, you need to give people a platform to provide the feedback, right? That's a key part of the value that Get Satisfaction platform provides to us and also, of course, our customers. The second is that once you give that platform, that you want to make sure that you have some way of gauging the applicability of that, the value of that to others. So it gives a forum, a platform through which you can, others can chime in. Others can say, hey, yeah, I want this, or I don't want this, or how much do I want it? So it can very quickly give you an indicator of the level of interest around those ideas and that feedback. And then I think the third piece is really key, is the actionability. Now, look, I think, I build products, and I know that, many, many products, and of course, it's impossible for any company in the world to fulfill every single customer demand, every single customer idea that's out there. But I think I believe that you want to make sure you provide a platform through which you can indicate that you're listening, that you're responding, that you are explaining why you're taking the certain steps that you are, and why you choose not to pursue it now or ever. And instead of the other world, where you never listen, where you don't know what is the importance of that, or the customers never know what you're going to be building. It's a black hole. I don't think that's a good world, and I think we provide a better platform for doing it, but that, comes with its own set of constraints. So I think it's a constant tension, right? But I think it's better to be able to provide a place where you can listen and where you can amplify and where you can respond. So that's how we're going to continue to do it.
And our particular use of our own product. So practically speaking, every day I see this, and I know you're seeing it more and more because you're in the community, our CTO and our engineers constantly mining the community for specific feature ideas and feedback. And so all of our prospects and customers on the call today should know that that is a regular activity of ours, which is different from being able to do it all.
Yeah.
But first, you're right, you have to create a place, and we have for ourselves to get that feedback. Second, we have to listen to it. So we can't just say, oh, it's cool, it's in the community. We have to listen to it. Then we have to apply what we are learning to the product roadmap that we're currently delivering under your direction. And there are trade-offs around that, right? But those trade-offs, I would say all of us who use online community platforms have to go back into the community and be very transparent about those trade-offs. That's the secret sauce here, right? It's not just to listen and then take it in and hope everyone figures it out, but to go back and say, yes, we are going to do it, and here's when, or no, we're not going to, and here's why, and to be very explicit with those trade-offs. Every company who's in the software building world understands that there are trade-offs. So Get Satisfaction is a great tool, I think, to communicate with prospects and customers that way, where we are with the product roadmap. So we're very involved in that. It is a best practice for us, and I hope it's a best practice for everyone who uses our product.
And by the way, that works both ways, Wendy. I totally agree with you. I think part of it is driven by customers when they're offering ideas and feedback, but it's also an opportunity for people that are building great products to solicit feedback. And, one of the ways many of our customers do it is that when they launch their products, they often create, if you like, a beta community around it where they can actually get feedback from a select set of customers, which is a really good practice before you unleash that product on the broader market. So it's a two-way street for customers to offer ideas and feedback, but also for companies to solicit feedback early and often, so that they're comfortable and confident they're on the right track. In many ways, it's a more nimble, more agile approach to doing exhaustive surveys and focus group sessions. I'm not saying they're not needed, but it's a good, quick way to say, well, let's just ask the customers and what they think, and they'll tell you. Especially if you've done a good job of building and nurturing a community of customers and hopefully loyal fans and advocates out of it.
Great. Thank you guys very much. That was awesome. If anyone else has any more questions or would like to continue this conversation with our chairman and CEO, we will be posting the replay in our community. And as you can tell, we're in there all the time, so definitely get in touch with us.
And post the questions in the community.
That's right.
Thank you. Have a great day.